Okay, so what's up for November? Days are getting shorter. My computer's set up for enter. Days are getting shorter. Tomorrow, standard time becomes in effect. You get an extra hour sleep tonight. But it's lighter in the morning, but darker earlier at night, which is good for observing and astrophotography. So sunrise on November 1st was 7:52, and the end of the month it'll be 7:29. Sunset 6:03 at the start of the month, and with the time change 4:35 at the end of the month. In terms of the sun today, this is I took this off spaceweather.com this morning, and you'll notice that there are some nice sunspots on our nearest star. And the one to watch is the one that's just coming around on the eastern limb that I circled in red. That's quite a large one, and it may result in some solar activity that gives us northern lights. The sunspots that are currently facing the Earth are stable fields, so there's very little solar flare activity currently going on. Yeah. It'll change a bit from day to day. So that sunspot that's coming around will advance, maybe a finger or two widths if you hold up to the. But generally, it's not going to change from one day to the next too much. Okay, so the question was about how often it updates, and Michael says about every 3 hours. It's it moved in a little bit, yeah. So anyway, that's something to keep an eye on. The moon, well, we're past first quarter. River's freezing over moon. Anyone that's looked up, like last night, if you looked up at the moon, you would have noticed Jupiter fairly close. The 5th and 6th, we've got a meteor shower coming up, the southern Taurids, but with the moon being so bright for most of the night, not the best opportunity for viewing meteor showers, although the brighter ones might still appear. Key date is November 8th, which is the full moon, but also total lunar eclipse. So if you get up early, you can look at a total lunar eclipse on the 8th, and so far the weather looks like it'll be good. That may change, but fingers crossed. November 9th, the moon and the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, are fairly close together. November 11th and 12th is the peak of the northern Taurids, so another meteor shower out of the constellation Taurus. The 16th is the last quarter moon, and the next day, the Leonid meteor showers peak. So that's a good early morning meteor shower, and not a lot of moonlight to disrupt it. The 23rd, we have a new moon, the chief moon or the winter moon, and the end of the month, the first quarter of the chief moon. So this is something to look at middle of next week, so the 9th, which I think is Wednesday. You'll see a couple of few interesting things. So there's the moon, and moon just past full, and very close to the to M45, the Pleiades. And there's also going to be 3 orange objects in the sky. So Mars is quite bright now. It's coming close to opposition at the end of the month. And then we have Aldebaran and Betelgeuse red supergiant stars, and it's going to be quite striking. So a triangle of red, the Pleiades, and the moon. So again, if it's clear, worth going out and having a look. Just to remind folks that are doing Explore the Moon, the time around the first quarter is a good time to look at various for various craters and mare as part of the Explore the Moon or Explore the Universe programs. And of course, if you don't mind getting up early, around the time of last quarter is also a good time. But this is a more civilized time to do it. Okay, so the total lunar eclipse, it begins, partial begins, the slide I took off inthesky.org, the top figure, and it shows where one is best situated to see the whole eclipse versus seeing just part of it. And we're not in that optimum belt, but we do get to see the start of it. So partial eclipse begins just after 5 a.m. Totality lasts from 6:16 to 7:41. So just before sunrise. If you've got a good western horizon, you'll be able to see the moon in total eclipse. Partial eclipse ends at 8:49. But moonset for us is at 7:06. So the show's over by 7:06, and actually before that, because it'll be way too light. Planets this month. Well, we've lost our chance to see Mercury and Venus. They're both too close to the sun to be visible in November. Mars, on the other hand, is getting brighter. And it's rising earlier, so it's rising in the late evening, and by month's end, it'll be minus 1.8 magnitude. It's commencing its retrograde loop as we approach opposition. Closest approach being at the end of the month, December 1st. Jupiter's still bright. Lots of people have been imaging Jupiter and observing Jupiter and the Galilean moons. Magnitude minus 2.8. It's there in the sky all month, well placed in the evening, and on the 4th it'll be close to the moon. Saturn rises before sunset, and it's best placed for observing just after sunset. Because it sets in the west later in the night. We've missed its close approach to the moon on November 1st, but we get another chance at the end of the month for a close approach of Saturn to the moon. Uranus is visible all night, magnitude 5.6. So conceivably at a dark sky site, visible to the unaided eye, but certainly easy to find with binoculars. Its closest approach to Earth, opposition will be on the 9th, and on the morning of the 8th, it'll be close to the moon. So if you're up looking for the total lunar eclipse, that's a good time to look for Uranus. And Neptune is visible before midnight for all of the month, quite dim at magnitude 7.8. The demon star, Algol Beta Persei, this month is a good, weather permitting, good time to see the dimming and brightening of this star due to the orbit of its companion. At 8:55, it'll on the 23rd, it will be at its minimum magnitude 3.2, and then a few hours later at 12:25 in the morning, it'll be at its maximum magnitude 2.2. So you can see the dimming and the brightening all in kind of one night. and still get to bed by 12:30. Explore the universe. This is the last month for the autumn constellations. And Judy, you see, I put the new third edition up there. Pegasus, Andromeda, Cassiopeia, Perseus, and Aries. All worth checking out to complete this these objectives for the Explore the Universe program. Autumn stars. The ones with the N after them are good for SynScan alignment. So if you've got a go-to telescope and you have to tell it tell the computer where you're situated and allow it to build its view of the night sky, those are the stars. It's worth knowing where they are. And the autumn deep sky object for November is Messier 31, the Andromeda Galaxy, and even from suburban Halifax, you can find it quite easily in binoculars. So next month we'll be moving on to the winter deep sky objects. Double stars. This isn't a autumn double star. There in the Explore the Universe program, there's only, I think, one actual autumn double star, and then there's a bunch of winter double stars. So I've been actually taking a couple of the summer double stars and highlighting them here. So Beta 1 and Beta 2 Capricorni are a nice binocular double star, but because the constellation will be setting well before midnight, you want to look for these double stars just after sunset, where they're high enough up in the sky. Interestingly, they're actually 5 stars. So Beta 1, Dabib, I pronounce that right, Dabib, Chris. It's not a double star, but Beta 2 is actually a binary system, and each of those stars is a double. It's kind of neat. Beta 1 is an orange giant, Beta 2 is a white giant, so they're pretty easy to find. And a challenge, if you happen to have a telescope with reasonable aperture, is to look for this morning comet, C20B2, comet ZTF. I know Dave Chapman's taken a picture of it with BGO telescope. I took this time lapse with my 6-inch reflector. So if you've got probably an 8-inch Dob, you might be able to find it. Its current distance from the Earth is 400 and nearly 450 million kilometers. By September of next year, it will have not quite had that distance, so it'll be at the closest approach to us at that point. But the projected magnitude is not going to be that much of a change. I think it's going to be estimated projected magnitude would be about 10.5 versus the 11.8 currently. So that's a tough challenge, not a binocular challenge, but worth peeking at. And that's it for November.
Questions for Dave?